One of the most popular National Trust properties in the UK is Winston Churchill's former home Chartwell. I'm a long-time supporter of the National Trust and have been a member for years, not of the English National Trust but rather the National Trust of the state I live in, Australia. Besides supporting the wonderful work the National Trust does, there's also the added advantage of the worldwide reciprocal agreements, so my Australian National Trust membership gives me free entry to the English site. Visiting Chartwell, I was able to use my membership to its fullest. Chartwell can be found near the town of Weald in Kent. It was Winston and Clementine's home, so it does have a homely feel to it. Winston sold Chartwell to the National Trust during a time of financial constraint in 1946, under the condition that he and his wife would retain lifetime tenancy. He was then able to specify that he wanted the house kept looking very much like when he lived there. Winston's study is the oldest part of the house, and when the house was renovated after Churchill's purchase of it in 1922, the Victorian-era drop ceiling was removed to expose the original beams. He wrote some of his most important speeches in that room. Outside there is a croquet court, where once stood a tennis court. Lady Churchill played both well, and Winston played neither. What sold Churchill on this property was a great view of the Weald of Kent. In the 1920s and 30s, Winston developed an interest in bricklaying. The far wall is part of his handiwork. The centre part of the walled garden is lined with golden roses, which were a gift to Winston and Clementine from their children for their 50th wedding anniversary in 1958. Walking back to the studio to the house, and on the left is part of the orchard that Winston established. If you enjoy my videos, please consider liking and subscribing so you'll be notified when I publish the next one. As with many historic homes, there is a lovely rose garden. This one was Lady Churchill's. Once the Churchills purchased Chartwell in 1922, it was in very poor condition and a 2-year renovation took place before they were able to move in. The house doesn't have great architectural merit, but it does have great historic interest, and for that reason alone, it attracts a large number of visitors each year. Next to the rose garden is the Marlborough Pavilion. Winston was a descendant of the Dukes of Marlborough and was born at their seat at Blenheim Palace, looking across one of the lakes to Winston's art studio, which now houses a collection of his paintings. The lakes that can be seen on the estate now, all but one, were created by Winston. During World War II, Canadian soldiers who camped in the woods had the job to cover the lakes with brush so that they would not be spotted from the air, as Chartwell was a target for bombing. The smallest one, and also the one you come across first, is really a pond. It contains Winston's oarfish and also his seat from where he fed the fish is still placed next to the pond. For lovers of historic homes and gardens, Chartwell deserves to be on your list of must-visits in this big wide world.